a very prominent on-air ESPN person who had great issue with what you said with me on SportsCenter about the Patrick Reed situation. In fact, let's take a listen to that clip now of what you said on SportsCenter.
One player said, well, golf must be in a great position if this is what we've come to and what everybody's excited about. One other player just said, look, it's obvious that there are two full camps now, and this has almost become a political thing. When I talked to Patrick, he said, you know, he had so much respect for Rory and the battles that they've had in the past that he was trying to separate things and just show a little bit of respect. And the fact that he didn't feel like he had it back as he walked away, he thought, you know what? Have some fun, and just thumb flicked a little T towards him and said people acted like he was trying to take his eye out, and it's really blown up out of proportion right now. But it's obvious that there are still two big different camps. There's the live camp and the PGA Tour camp, and people are really choosing sides. But as one PGA Tour pro told me, come on, really? This is where we're at?
Listening back to it, after said prominent on-air person texted me about it, I kind of lean with him because you stood up and we both like Patrick Reed. We both like him.
Okay.
You're friends with him. He called you. You said he called you.
That morning before I was on my way to warm up for the playing the Pro-Am.
He was in the wrong.
He was in the wrong for
two things. One, for expecting to be able to go up to Rory like everything was cakes and pies. That's part one.
Okay.
Part two, just because things didn't go the way that he wanted with Rory, I'm not freaking out about the T-flip. It is what it is.
Everybody else was.
Right, because it's Patrick Reed, and in this situation, he was in the wrong.
He was in the wrong for...
You can't expect things right now to be normal,
okay,
especially when you're suing someone.
Well, he is not. See, this is where you knuckleheads who read the prompters, this is what drives me crazy. Patrick Reed is not suing Rory McIlroy. Rory got a subpoena to appear in court. He is not being sued by Patrick, right? The lawsuit has to do with everybody else, but Rory ain't getting sued by him. That's number one. Number two, Patrick did not serve the subpoena, right? It wasn't Patrick who did it.
Dude.
It was you people acting like Patrick went to his house. Now,
who's Patrick suing? Who is he suing?
He's suing the PGA Tour. He's suing Golf Channel. He's suing Brando Sham. He is definitely suing some individuals. Okay. Rory McIlroy is not one of them.
Is Rory McIlroy on the PGA Tour?
That'd be like saying he's suing you and I.
I'm not on the PGA Tour. Neither are you.
Yeah, but we do have a partnership with the PGA Tour.
Did you get a subpoena?
No, but I'm also not. So what? But that don't mean we're not getting. You're the apples and oranges, dude. Now, here's where I'm going to tell y'all are right. Okay? Because, you know, like we said, full disclosure, man, Patrick called me that morning, and he's someone who I call a friend. Like, he's somebody who texts me, and I talk to him on the phone and stuff. And we've had great times at dinner and whatnot together. But I'm going to say this, okay, because this part is true. Patrick did not do a good job of the saying is, read the room. Read the room.
Well done. Pun intended. Read the room.
Read the room. See, I could be a headline writer. So this is the thing, though. Even though you weren't the guy who went to Rory's house on Christmas Eve, right? And I'm sure, don't get it twisted, everybody. This is another thing. Like, people act like Patrick was on the phone with his attorney going, yo, go to his house on Christmas Eve because he's going to be with his family. I'm going to jack him up real quick. Like, here, Patrick isn't going to do that, which is part of the reason why he went over to say, hey, what's up? Because like he told me on the phone, he got mad respect for Rory. Like, those two have had some battles coming down the stretch, of which Patrick has got the better of Rory at the Masters and then at the Ryder Cup. That being said, if even regardless of how much respect you got for a dude, and what we didn't see off camera was him really went over in that direction to shake the hands of the TaylorMade dudes for making him a 3-wood that he loved. That, oh yeah, seemed to have worked pretty good that week too, right? So yes, it was a bad look because he didn't read the room correctly. Harry shook his hand, but Harry didn't get a subpoena on Christmas Eve. But let's not get it twisted. Patrick is not suing McIlroy. Patrick did not take that subpoena to Rory's house on Christmas Eve. So even though people make it sound like, yo, how dare you after you're going after Rory? Like, you're not going after Rory.
No.
And Rory is one of as much, and Rory, same thing. Like, this is, Rory and I have texted before. We have been out before. He's also someone who I would call a friend. But look, let's be real. Rory is the talking head for the PGA Tour when it comes to the players that are out there, right? Nobody is going, hey, man, I wonder what's up with that lawsuit. Let's go get Brian Harman.
No, but see, but
ain't nobody want to hear from him. Like, I love Brian Harman to death too, but ain't nobody be like, man, I can't wait to hear number 115 on the FedEx Cup list what he feels.
That's the point. Rory and Tiger and JT to a certain extent.
Yep.
They are the faces of the PGA Tour versus LIV.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
So in this climate.
Yeah, but in this climate, you know how many guys have already said that they're friends with LIV guys? That they go play golf together with one another.
You're missing the point again. Patrick Reed is different than all of them.
Now I will say that part is true.
He has been the villain pre-LIV. He's the villain in LIV. So when you are, you can't.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You can't have it both ways. You can't.
Well, no, here's the thing.
But see, if this isn't Rory, JT, or Tiger, if he is just going up to go, Sahith Theegala, what's up, man? How are you? It's different. But you literally went to the one guy that has been the vocal opponent of LIV, who you've had a rivalry with before.
Yes.
I believe now the TaylorMade story is great. I get that. But when there's something like this going on,
right,
you can't just go up and what's up, dude? How are you? Hey.
Look, I understand you say you can't do that, but I'm just telling you what Patrick told me. He was honestly doing it out of respect. For him, it was a respect thing. He was trying to show Rory respect.
I know, but it's just
which is why then when Rory did it, like the immediate reaction was like, you know what? And that's why you heard what Patrick's quotes were to everybody. Like, if you're going to act like an immature child, cool. For Patrick, and I know this is hard for people to do, and this is the other thing too, like, because I'm saying this, everyone's like, bro, all you do is defend Patrick Reed. No, I'm trying to give an honest, I'm not trying to defend him, but I'm telling you what he told me. And this is what I'm saying. Rory is powerful enough that I'm sure he got law stuff going on too, right? But he separates all of that from personal and business. There's personal and there's business. Now, for Patrick, the lawsuit stuff is business. Like, he does not have a lot to do with that. He is not on the phone with that attorney every single day. But it was also funny when Rory was like, you know, if the shoe would have been on the other foot, he would have probably.
I'd have been expecting a lawsuit, right?
Like, that is freaking funny and kind of the perfect line for that moment too, which is awesome. But for Patrick, it was separating business from personal. Personal, he ain't got no problem. Patrick does not have a problem, or didn't. I should say didn't have a problem with Rory. Like, it was business. There was the business side of it, which is LIV PGA Tour. Like, you're on one side, cool. I got a lawsuit going on, like that. That's business. It ain't personal. Now, that's where it got muddy. Rory, you get subpoenaed on Christmas Eve, it just went from business to now it's personal too.
Because the lawsuit says Patrick Reed versus da-da-da-da-da. And everybody. That's personal. So now, you're right. So, but here's the next thing.
Okay.
You've got that.
Yeah. That's how we started the week.
Then you've got the golf ball in the tree, which it doesn't take the Zapruder film to figure out that it didn't go in the third tree. It did not go in the third tree.
No.
So now you've got beginning of the week drama with Patrick. And then you've got tee shot 17th.
Yes.
Stuck in the first tree,
Right.
says it's his ball in the third tree,
Right.
gets a preferred lie and a drop out of that because it's closer to the hole without obstruction.
Hold on, though. You got to.
You can't.
No, I'm not defending.
No. I was going to say that. I'm just saying you can't. This was a
Here's
bad.
The thing. Here's where it comes back to BMP Reed. If it's anybody else, if it's anyone else, you get the benefit of the doubt.
No question.
You're like, hey, man, you know what? Everybody thought it was that tree. You went and you looked in that tree with binoculars, said the ball had your markings. The rules official agreed with what you said, looked through the binoculars as well. And that's the thing. The rules official could have been like, nah, bro, I still we can't do it. Or someone could have been like, hey, hold on. We have video we need y'all to see before you do that. That was also a possibility where they could have been like, timeout just a second before we do this, and could have been like, that's not the tree. Now, here's the thing. In theory, we talk about the Zapruder film, the bullet turns left, goes up, goes down. It's amazing. In theory, the ball could have gone in that first tree and somehow made it to the third tree. Scientifically, who knows? But if it wasn't Patrick Reed, you'd be like, wow, that's crazy. But because it was P. Reed, it was like, oh. And here's my other thing when it comes to that, too. This is hard for me to say, but it's the honest truth. Patrick has to realize, too, that when it comes to anything, when I say anything, I mean, if you're not sure if your ball is touching a red line, call in everybody. Like, I ain't going near it. You go first. The first thing that he should have done is given the binoculars either to the rules official first, or before you grab those binoculars to look up into that tree, what he should have done was said, here's how I marked my ball. Because when you're holding the binoculars, looking at the golf ball, and you say, oh, yeah, it's got my markings on it. It's got an arrow and a dot. Like, yeah, you're looking at a ball with an arrow and a dot. Right. So if you say it before you identify the golf ball that's in the tree and it has those markings, bro, you have been validated. Now, by doing it before and handing those binoculars to the rules official, because you're Patrick Reed and because you're going to get, like, you just can't do that, or this is what happens.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.